Cheers. Having a home brew. Lovely. Just a quick update because I haven't made a video in a couple of weeks. And I'm about to start a meeting, so I've only got about 5 minutes. But yeah, 2 weeks ago I started to get this funny tingling in my throat, like, I'm thinking, hello, I know what this is, sore throat time. So I didn't vape for a week. It didn't actually become a sore throat, but it did start to tighten. So I just didn't vape at all for a whole week. So I didn't make a video. There wasn't a point really. And then last week it was half term, so the lad was off school, and I finished early every day. So I started early, about 5, 6 o'clock. And then I could finish at lunchtime, 1 o'clock, something like that. I'd done my hours, and I could finish and spend the afternoon with the family. So I didn't make a video last week either. So that's why there's been no videos. 1 week I wasn't vaping, and the second week I was busy with the family. But things have moved on. Let me show you. This is ready this weekend for filtering. So I'm going to start collecting all the things together this weekend. I'm going to get a French press and some coffee filter papers because I don't use them. That's my coffee pot. So I'll have to get some filter papers. And yeah, these microfiber cloths. It seems that the only place you can really buy them from is laboratory suppliers. So I know on the Facebook group, the DIY Net Eliquid Facebook group, someone posted a link where you can buy just a single sheet, I think, and they're reusable. So they are quite expensive. These 5 micron, 2 micron filter sheets, they can be quite expensive, but they're reusable. So you'll get your money back over time. So I'm going to get all that together. I'm going to get another one of these tubs because I'm not going to make anything in a tub like this again. I'm going to stick with the Kilner jars. But I think this will be useful for filtering because you can just put the cloth inside it with some clothes pegs around the top or something, bulldog clips, and it will just sit inside and it's not going to touch the liquid. Because obviously if you get a too small a jug, it'll get to a point where the liquid's starting to touch the filter. So I might get another one of these, and then I'll use these for the filtering, and then I'll store it in a Kilner jar. So yeah, I'll be filtering this in a week or two. I've tried it. I tried it last week, and it really does taste nice now. That perique's starting to come through. Starting to get a bit of that perique. So I'm very pleased with this. It's going to be really interesting to see how it tastes when it's all filtered and I've diluted it. So that's coming along well. And the week after that, of course, this will be about finished. And as you can see from the side of that jar, it's starting to get thick as well. So this is the Kendall Gold, Pure Virginia. And yeah, it's been about 5 weeks now, I think. This has been in the jar, so 6 weeks actually. So another couple of weeks and that'll be ready for filtering. So it'd be interesting to see how that tastes as well. I'll get my practice on the Petersons, and then I'll probably make a proper job of this one. And I've set off another one as well. I've got another one going. I've put it into a Kilner jar like this. I got given some tobacco off a friend who, well, he's not really a friend, he's just someone I bump into every now and then when I go to the shops. But he smokes a pipe, and when I quit, I gave him a couple of my pipes, and he just bumped into one another, and he just said, "Oh, I've got some tobacco, do you want it?" Because he doesn't like it. And I thought, well, if you don't like it, why should I? But I thought, well, it's a kind offer, and it's a Balkan Riff Cherry Cavendish. Now, been going for about 2 weeks, and when I first opened the packet, there was only, it tried some, so it wasn't a full pouch. There was about 32 grams in the pouch, so I mixed it with 320 grams of, or millilitres of PG. And when I first opened the pouch, I thought, oh God, I'm not going to like this at all. It was like a chemical black cherry smell. You know, like the cherries you get in gatos. It was that sort of a smell, but there was like a bit of an alcohol or chemical aroma with it as well. But I thought, well, I'll give it a go. You know, he's giving it me, and next time I see him, he's going to be asking me what it was like. So I better have a crack at it. Anyway, now 2 weeks later, in the jar, it smells pretty much the same, but not as chemical. That aroma's gone, but the tobacco's starting to come through. A really nice, rich, sweet tobacco. Well, that'll be from the Cavendish, because Cavendish is a process, and they soak or they treat the leaves in some way with like a sugar solution or a glucose solution to make it very sweet. So that's why it's so sweet. And I'm assuming there's Virginia in there, probably some burley as well. But it's starting to smell really nice. So I'm thinking, you know, it could be a good one, this could be a good one. Nice tobacco flavour and some vanilla, some cherry taste in the background. So I'm hoping that's how it'll be. We'll have to wait and see. And then I was in a tobacconist. I was passing by and I thought, oh, I wonder if you've got any tobacco I can use to make some more Eliquid. And they had a 2017 Peterson's St. Patrick's Day. Now, what's he called? Bremen Pipe Smoker. I love his videos. He's a historian, and he always accompanies his videos with a little trip out somewhere around Lower Saxony or in Bremen, and he tells you about the history of the place, and sometimes he goes right back to the medieval times because that's his specialty. So I do like watching his videos, and in one of them he reviewed this and he said he liked it. So I haven't opened the tin or done anything with it because I don't want to break the seal just yet. It's 50 grams again though. So what I'm thinking of doing is just taking about 20 grams out and then storing the rest in a kilner jar. Just put some away. And then if I like it and I finish it quite quickly, I've always got some more to make another batch with. So that's my thinking on that one. I don't want to make another 50 gram thing like this. Like I said, it's just going to be making too much. It's a bit too much. So with the Petersons, I might just take a little bit out and store the rest in a kilner jar. So yeah, quite busy on the DIY tobacco and on the home brewing as well. This is like a pale ale. Well, it's all pale ale. That's all I make is ales. I don't make lagers because I haven't got a temperature controlled environment, which is what you need for lagers. Ales, you can just stick them at room temperature and they'll ferment away lovely. But it's lagerish. It's a very light pale ale, nicely carbonated, and it's I use a Cooper's kit, which are very good kits. Cooper's, for one, you just get one tin. It's a kit, it's called, because the malt's already been hopped for you. All you've got to really do is add some sugar and top it up to 23 litres. But what I did, instead of the sugar, I tend not to use sugar these days, I got some Munich malts, Munich malt extract. So it's the Cooper's lager with Munich malt extract, and then I put in about 25 grams of Saaz hops in a tea. I made a tea with them, poured that in as well, and it's turned out a beautiful beer. Lovely. Gave it 3 weeks in the fermenter, which you should for pale light ales. You should give them a long time in the fermenter. They say on the instructions it's done in 5 days. Finish fermenting, you can start bottling. Well, you can, but it'll taste crap. It's not so bad if you're putting loads of hops in, if you're making like an American pale ale or an IPA, and you're really putting in some of those nice American citrusy hops, because that'll cover a lot of the flavours. But when you're making quite a light beer like this, a light tasting beer, then yeah, you've got to give it a long time. Otherwise, it'll just, you know, that homebrew twang everyone talks about. It'll taste like that, basically. So it's best just to give it a lot longer in the fermenter. So I left it for 3 weeks. It had finished after about 5 or 6 days, but yeast doesn't stop working. They'll still carry on and do a bit of what I call housekeeping. They'll clean up, they'll do a bit of dusting, they'll make sure it's a really nice beer for you when you're ready to bottle. Because as well as creating alcohol, they also create other flavours, and some of them give that twang. But they will clean all that up, mop it all up for you, if you give them time. So it's always best with light beers like this, I find, just to give it an extra 2 or 3 weeks, so that the yeast has got the time just to do the housekeeping. And as soon as you bottle, give it a week, and you can be drinking it, because it's been cleaned for you by the yeast, so you don't have to wait as long when you're conditioning. This has been 3 weeks in the fermenter, and it's about 2 weeks now in the bottle, so it's really starting to come into its own now, and it's a nice beer. And I've got another pale ale on the go upstairs, so that's had a week in. I'll give it another week before bottling, a week or two. That's a bit more hoppier, so I think I can get away with being a bit early on that one. Oh yes, by the way, I'm thinking of getting an Underwood mod this month. I'm watching his website. I know he's got some new ones coming up, so I'm going to have a look at them, and I'll be buying one. It's just about logistics really, because I'm actually going away in July, so it's you know, I don't want it to turn it up, because they're quite expensive mods, a few £100. I don't want it turning up and then I'm not there. So yeah, we're going away in July. So we'll just have to see about logistics, how long things take to get from Australia. It shouldn't take too long. I know when we get things from Japan, it comes in 5 days, literally. You know, it only takes 5 days, so I can't see it taking much longer from Australia. So there's a bit of logistics, you know, depending on when he puts them on his website, which I think should be, if not this week, next week. So plenty of time still. So I'm thinking of getting an Underwood mod. But what I did get myself, oh, blast from the past, I got myself a Quacko. Now, I got this from iVapor, and they didn't have the black batteries and the black clearomisers, so I had to get the silver. And I got myself an EVOD clearomiser to put on the top of the battery. And I forgot you can't change the mouthpieces on the EVODs, so I'm going to have to look for another mouthpiece for the EVOD, one that I can change the mouthpieces for, because I've got some flat mouthpieces that will fit onto. So is it about 16 mils? I think it is about 16 mil for an Ego, isn't it? That will fit on the top, and there'll be a nice sort of flat, tapered mouthpiece. So it's a Neo, it's a Neo automatic battery. You just take that off, because that's just an additional thing you put on the end. It's your bog standard Ego, but they're automatic, which means you can vape I mean, you can use it like a cigar. Yeah. I never knew, I've had some of these before and I never knew why they didn't take off, because to me, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? You just put it in your mouth and puff away. No buttons to press. Anyway, so I put the quackle on the end, and there you go. I can sit at my desk. Well, I'm sat here at my desk. Sit at my desk. I can tap away at the keyboard, and I can be puffing away. Or I can be outside mowing the lawn. I don't need to press anything. So, it's a little bit of a fun thing, you know. But I'm going to look for black batteries. I think it looks better black, you know, but silver looks okay. Once I get a black tip on the end as well. So, this is what I got. Came just today, actually. Really enjoying myself with it. Yeah, I can't understand why more makers just don't make automatic batteries. But hey ho. Right. Well, I've had longer than 5 minutes, so I can't prepare for my meeting, which is in about 10 minutes. So, one of the beauties of working from home, I should have finished actually, I've clocked off to be honest, but they just want me to, it's an hour-long conference meeting, but they just want me to pop in for 5 minutes and just talk about some work, you know. So I've got to be there. Hence I'm having a beer because I've clocked off. So I will go to my meeting. I hope you have a great evening, which is probably when you're going to be watching this. And I hope you have a great weekend. I don't know if I'll be able to get all the filter stuff for this weekend. So I don't think I'll have filtered that. But I'm sure I'll find something to talk about next week. And now that my throat's okay and the lad's back at school, there's no excuse. Okay, so I'll go to my meeting and I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.